Welcome to our second theory video for a murder at the end of the world. I'm Dan, that's Julia. Guys, we got so many good comments. We're going to break a record on how many comments we're going to read in this video, but there was too many good ones, Jules. I couldn't narrow it down.
Yeah, it was
If you're
tough.
It was tough. And if your comment wasn't picked, just comment below again. Say your theories. We're going to make another one of these theory videos for sure. There's so much to the show, so we're going to try to break it all down. In this video, what you're going to get a lot of AI talk. There's some crazy theories about Andy's real plan. You're going to get, of course, some theories on who the killer is. If there is one or maybe multiple killers, you're going to get that. And then a big one, which is going to be in the title of this YouTube video, is maybe a murder at the end of the world. Maybe the end of the world is the true end of the world, and it's not referring to Iceland. We'll see. A lot to get into. Let's just jump right into it. So one to kind of set up the palette for this is going to be from Jamie715. Why do you think we need to see all the flashbacks? What could be the significance of it? And I responded, because I think Darby is suppressing something big. And I really
Yeah.
think that's going to be a massive part once we see the outcome of the killer at the top of the stairs, once we see them reveal themselves. I think it's going to be Darby's father. And
I
you're going to be
still
like,
think it's Darby's dad.
me too. And you're going to be like, well, why did she call her dad when she was about to go to Iceland? Maybe she's just suppressing it and she doesn't want to remember it. And that's part of the whole grand scheme of things. So
Yeah, I
that's
mean, it could be.
that's a good one to kind of set the table for the rest of this. So one that goes into that, Jules.
This is from 117 Derek. And Derek says, where this is leading, I think, is to solving a murder from the past involving Bill. Possibly Bill was killed in the basement by the person at the top of the stairs, who was Darby's father. She's been repressing the memory. She stopped at that point during the book reading. And the entire AI experiment is to get Darby to solve the still unknown killer of Bill. Lee knew/was in love with Bill before, not after, the events in the basement. The Fangs persona is fake, not Bill. And everyone at the retreat is there to bring forward different emotions out of Darby to arrive at the killer.
So that's one that's like completely out of the box. That's why I really wanted to highlight it. And that's not something I necessarily believe in. I think Bill died when we saw him die, and he didn't die in that moment at the top of the stairs. But I think that's a really cool version of events that could have taken place. And there's another theory we're going to read later that people think maybe Darby was the one who got shot in that moment, or the killer killed himself in that moment. So there's multiple different variations of that exact scene.
Yeah, for sure. And like, how we talked about how this could all be like an AI experiment in the way that like the people who are dying aren't actually dying.
Sure.
It could be just the same thing, but the opposite. Like maybe Bill really did die during that scene. And
Yeah.
this is just a way for them to like test Darby almost, you know what I mean?
Right.
To like figure out like if they can like pull that out of her.
Yeah, I think that's entirely plausible. And there's more theories about that scene at the top of the stairs that we're going to get into later. So just keep that in mind. All right, next up is from Satan's Little Helper. So this is one that talks about the end of the world, and I love it. About the Doomsday climate suits. I think that's exactly where we get our title of the show. It makes it seem like the end of the world means Iceland, but what it really means is the actual end of the world. My guess is Andy and Sean plan on colonizing the moon, or just his underground Iceland bunker by building smart cities, but it would only be for the rich. And Bill, Rohan, and one other wanted to expose this. Lee killed Bill because she wanted to protect her own future, and maybe Sean or others killed Rohan to stop their plan from moving forward. Also, I bet Andy already figured out Zoomer's parentage. He practically brought up Punnett squares when talking about hamsters. There's no way he didn't look at his blonde kid and think, wait, why doesn't he have dark hair? Isn't that a dominant trait? Lee probably still wanted the secret to be protected at all costs, and that's why she killed him. There are two different killers for sure, though. Maybe they use Ray as an intermediary, or maybe they use Zoomer. Who knows? Don't have enough clues yet. That's something I'm starting to lean towards also, that maybe there's two killers here, or maybe it's a team effort.
You have Rohan and Bill working with some mystery person. Who's to say that the killer isn't working with a mystery person too?
Right. And I wonder if we ever find out who that person was, who they were doing the Morse code to that
We better.
responded. Yeah, I think that would be a good tie-in. And obviously that person is probably on the last chance, Rohan's ship, probably on that ship. So maybe it'll come back into play. I mean, we've got what, like 3 episodes left, so maybe not, but I hope so. I think it'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be cool to find out. Yeah.
I really like the thing about the end of the world, meaning the actual end of the world, because we know that Andy is prepping for something, because in this world, something bad is apparently going to happen in 2050, but he believes it's going to happen much earlier.
Much sooner. Yeah.
And we saw the scene with the droids, the drones building that underground city that he took them all to in the first or second episode. So there's something that he's planning towards. And could that be the whole point of the show, and they're just trying to get this suppressed memory out of Darby to help whatever this plan is.
It's very possible.
But could that be the secret that Bill knew about?
It would certainly be worth killing over. Hear me out. Hear me out on this one. This is like a real long ago prequel for Silo.
Yeah, right.
That's where the bunkers came from.
I like that. People think it's a sequel to the OA, but what if it's just a prequel to Silo?
All right. So Daniel Mason 999 says the AI is the killer, using Zoomer through virtual reality game to do things like give him a quest to find an object in the game, but it's the morphine in real life. Bill and the others were going to shut it down as some protest against technology, but it found them out and is eliminating them for self-preservation.
Okay, so there's a couple comments in a row about AI, and I'm starting to get a little suspicious about Ray, the AI technology in this, because he's everywhere. You know, he's all knowing. He knows everything about everyone. He even knew that Rohan was off the map since 2006. Like, he knows everything.
I mean, he's AI. Like, of course
he's AI.
He is.
Yeah, so that's something to take note of. But let's jump into the next comment because they also talk about AI. So MEJJ6 says, theory for the door opening and closing without anybody there. If Zoomer, or in fact another persons are an AI creation, perhaps they can't be seen by the camera at all. Also, Bill's pseudonym Fangs suggests he is a vampire AI now and can live forever, and in fact is still alive and has the potential to be rebooted. I hope so. That means we get more Bill. That would be cool.
I would love that.
So just lots of crazy AI theories in a row. We got one more, so let's get into it, and then we'll talk about all the AI stuff.
All right. So this one is from our girl Ella Fieldy Pops, and she says, it's just occurred to me, what if Ray the AI is that killer hacker? He certainly has the means to do all the hacks, and for motive, maybe he's doing the kills to protect Andy in some way without Andy knowing. Perhaps he thinks of Andy as his father/creator, wants to protect him from the people Ray views as potential threats. Maybe not, but it's fun guessing.
Now, here's my total thoughts on the AI stuff. I think if it's true that Ray has a hand in these killings, that yes, he would be using Zoomer, which is really dark to have a kid do your bidding for you. But I think he would be doing it.
Like, they're onto something with the whole like AI game he was playing, like the VR thing. Like that could totally be a way to get him to do his bidding without him knowing it.
And he could have been, you know, just walked into Bill's room playing doctor again, like he was at the dinner table, and just injected him with the morphine. And Bill didn't even know it was coming. And then before you know it, he's overdosing. So totally plausible. And I do also think, like someone else mentioned, that it is possible that Zoomer is still an AI kid and they just programmed him to have that Achu syndrome, to something to remember Bill by, if Bill in fact was dead prior. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it could be something to just like give a shout out to Bill, like to have his legacy move on a little bit. And he does look like him with the blonde hair. So it's just everything to keep in mind with the whole AI things. But let us know in the comments, where are you guys with the whole AI side of this? Do you think it's just a straight up whodunit and there's a person doing all these hacks, or is Ray AI more involved than we're led to believe initially? Darby's still looking for a killer at this point. She's not looking at AI as the problem, which it might be.
Yeah, well, and Ray's been like her assistant, you know? He's helping her research things. Of course, she's not gonna like immediately go to, oh, that could be him though, you know?
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Okay, now we're gonna talk about who got shot in the killer's house. So this is from Way Risa. Who got shot in the killer's house? I think it was Darby, and possibly she was in a coma, and Bill found Lee to see if she could help using technology. Darby may now be AI, as predicted by others. And what if Zoomer is her actual son? She and Bill hooked up before the shot too, so she could be in a coma and pregnant. Bill finds Lee, who says she'll help, and also adopts or acts as the child's mother in the meantime. I think this is why there's so many overt clues that Zoomer is Bill's, which was basically confirmed last week, and it's a distraction from who Zoomer's real mom is. The prophecy still fits. They only had sex once. Present day, Andy and Lee used the retreat to debut Darby, which took 6 years. I do think Bill wanted to tell AI Darby what was going on, and I'm still unsure who killed Bill. And maybe he will be brought back via AI as well, as part of Andy's end of the world plan. And that's my crazy theory. Hey, I love your crazy theory. Gets me thinking.
I love this.
Yeah.
I love this.
Again, That's not the route I'm going down. This show, there's so many things going on that you got to keep your mind open to all
It really
possibilities.
could be like so many different things, but that would be really cool if Darby was the AI.
It would be. And it would be something completely unexpected. And maybe that's why she has this suppressed memory of her dad being the Silver Doe killer, because she's AI and she just doesn't have that memory at the time. But how would it all work out? Like, I'm really not leaning towards that. But if you guys are, let me know in the comments. I'm leaning towards she survived that shooting at the top of the stairs and she's just suppressing the memory that her father is the Silver Doe killer. That's the one that I'm personally going with. But I'm open to all possibilities.
Okay, and this next comment says the first life that a serial killer takes tends to be someone they know. Bill knew Rohan Lee and Darby. My theory is the past and the present are connected by a parallel pattern of possibly two serial killers. We tend to think of serial killers in a traditional sense. I think this series could actually take the genre in a very modern and technologically advanced way. I think one of these three could have killed him. The new serial killer is getting to experiment more with remote killing until they perfected their art of murder. While my logical explanation leads me that Lee could be a prime suspect, I think it could be too obvious and we might know more about the other characters, hopefully. This way, it gets more exciting.
I too am very suspicious of Lee, but I'm still very suspicious of Sean. I'll say why at the end of the video. But I thought this was really interesting. And the life that a serial killer takes first tends to be someone they know. That's why I'm 100% going with the theory that Darby's father was the Silver Doe killer and he killed his wife, Darby's mom, to kick things off. So that's what I'm going with. And like, they're showing us so many flashback scenes. They have, just like the first comment, they have to be showing us these for a reason. They have to matter.
Well, yeah, of course. Like they said, like it would make sense for it to like parallel that string of murders. You know what I mean? Like what's happening in Iceland right now.
Right.
So like, is there a trail of things connecting these murders? Do you know what I mean? Like how the silver was passed on to each next victim?
Basically, we know that someone's hacking things to accomplish their murders. Like the first one, the camera was hacked, so we can't see who went into Bill's room. Or if it was just Zoomer and he was too short and he didn't register, or he's AI and he didn't show up. Something happened that you can't see who went into his room. And then obviously the second one, someone hacked the heart monitor. And then the third one they tried to do on Sean, the helmet was hacked.
Is this a hack?
You should sit down, conservator.
So someone is hacking to get all this done. So that's the pattern. But who is it? A pair of people, and is Ray involved? They're the big questions that I still have. So lastly, from Kizabel, she talks about the Silver Doe timeline, and I thought this was a perfect way to end this video. So she says, theories from the Silver Doe timeline. I think the serial killer was a cop. Before going to the vacant house to search for the remains of the first victim, Bill tells Darby that maybe they should tell the cops so they know where they are. Darby says no, and that they will probably try and stop them from proving one of their own was a serial killer. The scene in the basement when they find the bones, the person at the top of the stairs, is the serial killer, and the gunshot we hear is actually of him shooting himself because he was found out. The victim was Patricia Bell, but I thought that when they found the ring, that it was engraved E. Bell. It was. So that is probably the serial killer's name, since the first victim was supposed to be the wife of the serial killer. We never found out exactly when or why Darby's mother left, so maybe her mother is another victim of the serial killer, since they were only able to identify the victims backwards. There could have been more. So Kissenbell doesn't go with the theory that Darby's father is the serial killer, but she thinks it was a cop.
That could fit with him being Darby's dad too, because technically, if you're the ME, that's one of your own. You know.
True. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm still definitely going with that 100%. And something else I saw in the comments, I couldn't figure out who said it. So if it was you, take credit in the comments below. There's someone that thinks the helmet that got locked was meant for Darby, because if you remember last episode, when they get into the car, they show them putting their helmets in the back seat and they focus in on those helmets.
Right. All we need now is a key.
Yep.
Deliberate of, placing the helmet back here, placing the helmet back here. So they could have got swapped after the car accident. So the helmet could have been meant for Darby. So I'm still going with Sean is involved, that she wanted Darby's helmet to get stuck.
That would make sense. You don't know. You'd think if she was involved in that though, like she would have like marked the helmets or something so she wouldn't get them mixed up.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. Who are you leaning towards? You changing your opinion at all?
This is hard. I think my opinion's swaying a little bit with all this AI talk, like about how like the AI could actually be involved in the killings. I still don't think it's Andy. I do kind of think that Ray might be a little bit more heavily involved than we think.
That's what you're going with now?
Not him solely, obviously, but yeah, I think he's involved.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a good place to end it. Let me know what you guys think. We're going to be here for episode 5 already on Tuesday. So come back for that. Drop your comments below, and then we'll make another theory video next week based on your comments again. So much fun. What do you guys think? Do you agree with any of these theories that we read? Or do you want us to go with your theories that you're going to leave below right now? So let us know. Hopefully you're enjoying. I think the show's fantastic. I've only seen one person in the comment section who doesn't like the show, but for the most part, it seems like everybody's really enjoying it.
I sure am.
Yeah, me too. All right. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Later.
Bye, guys.
Mm.